Okay, we're live. Ready? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes. Yes.
All right, we're live now. We're live.
Okay. What's up? My name is Phettie Green. I also go by Phettie G. I am from Shoreview, California. I am 24 years old and I am Tongan.
Let's go Shoreview. People don't know about Shoreview. All right, so yeah, thank you for coming in for our interview. Thank you for being part of this podcast. So can you go ahead? How did you grow up?
So I am the youngest out of 5 kids. It's
Mhm.
4 boys and 1 girl, and that's me.
Mhm.
Um, we grew up in San Mateo. I was born in Stanford in Palo Alto, but we were raised here in San Mateo. I lived on the west side of the freeway though. We lived off of Grant. Growing with all boys and just girls meaning me and
Yeah,
my
yeah,
mom.
yeah,
it's it was a bit of a trip. It's
yeah,
definitely a huge factor on why I am the way I am today.
yeah, yeah,
Um, my brothers were very mean to me.
yeah,
People, oh, are they nice to you because I'm the only girl? And it was just
yeah.
like, oh, girl, they are very rude to me. But it was tough love, It was very
Yeah,
tough
yeah,
love, overprotective brothers.
yeah.
But when I was young, like around 5, I was actually molested by a very close family member.
Yeah.
And I kind of struggled with that growing up because I didn't really tell anybody about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of went on for, I want to just say 5 or 7 more years. And then after that,
So it was a reoccurring thing for those 7 years.
yes, it was recurring. It was definitely recurring.
Okay.
Um, of course, nobody knew this. My brothers didn't know. My parents didn't know. But I just remember this because I was in grade school.
Yeah.
I started out in public school, but then for 12 years, I was in private school. So I went to St. Timothy Catholic School here, actually. And then I went to Mercy High School in Burlingame, um, which once I got to high school, all that, the sexual abuse stopped. It been stopped. It was just through my grade school um, that it happened. But anyways, I went to private school and I didn't want to go to private school. Growing up here in Shoreview, I wanted to be with all my cousins. I wanted to go to
Yeah.
public school. I want to
Do,
be with my people.
do
But
you do you mind we talk about, like, what happened with that sexual abuse, with that when you went through that?
yeah,
So I want to ask you a question. So when you went through that, like, for you personally, like, why didn't you feel like speaking up and telling somebody about it? Like, what was going through your mind of not sharing it to nobody?
I was scared.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I didn't understand at that time, especially at that
Yeah.
age. Um, I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I just knew though that if I let it known to adults, to older people, to other people, something was gonna happen. What exactly? I don't know. I was too young to know, but I just knew
Yeah.
that there was some pressure on me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just decided as a little girl, just thug it out, and I just kept on growing.
Yeah. I know. I mean, that's not the. I mean, I know. I do know a lot. I do know some people have gone through the same experience. Do you feel like it was your own personal choice of not speaking up, or do you feel like, was it a cultural thing? Because sometimes, based on a lot of people I've talked to, sometimes they felt like a part of the culture played a big part of them not speaking up, because, like, as children, we're kind of taught not to speak up and talk about certain things, regardless if it's a struggle, regardless if it's anything. So do you feel like it was just your own, experience, your own personal choice to, what, I don't want to speak up because I don't want to cause any issues? Or do you feel like the culture did play a big part of, for you to make that decision of not speaking up?
I definitely feel that it was a personal choice, just
Yeah.
because I was so young.
Yeah.
I, I didn't know much, but
Yeah.
culturally, I would say more it was just a surrounding thing because I was the
Yeah.
only girl and
Yeah.
I'm locked inside my room. And, whenever my brother brings all these boys around the house, I have to stay in my room. I can't be around the guys.
Yeah.
A little bit of the cultural, but I'd say it was my own personal choice.
Yeah. Are you still in like are you still in, how is your relationship with that person that committed that?
Um, it's I I forgave. I forgave.
Okay.
It's just the relationship. It still needs to be touched on. I didn't really tap on the relationship. I kind of just like let it be.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
okay.
I think I will touch on the relationship. It's just I haven't yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How did that affect you mentally as far as like when you went through that? Did anything change for you mentally as far as like any
Hell
psychological issues?
yeah. What if I start, saying some words, some French, please excuse me.
It's all good. This is the open podcast. It's all good. No filters.
Yeah, it definitely affected me, I go through a lot of things by myself on my own. Um, I don't, if I need help, I got myself. I don't
Yeah.
really reach out to people.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's just a lot of things I go on my own, and I know the reason why of that is because of that. But
Yeah.
I don't use it as an excuse. I just use it to try to understand myself.
Dang. You're a strong person. No, for real. No, okay. So all right, so so okay, so when you went through that experience, you just decided, like, what did you do to move forward? Was it like, were you just like mentally strong? You know what, I'm just gonna move forward with it? Because I just want to give the audience some kind of feedback. So I know there might be somebody that's watching this that may be going through the same thing, and then they may not know what to do. So, did you do anything specifically that helped you move on with your life, or was it just like you just had a tough mindset? You were just like, you just mentally tough to like forgive everything and just move on. But did you do anything at all that kind of helped you move on with that process? Any kind
Um,
of self-love, any kind of self-love thing, self-love, go to a therapist? Like, what did you do anything that kind of helped you grow out of that?
no.
No.
Um, at a very, very young age,
Yeah.
I naturally just sucked it up
Okay.
and kept it going. How did I do it? I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. But I want to say I was depressed at a really young age, but I
Yeah.
didn't know at that time what was depression. I was
Yeah.
only 5 but I didn't have any help, well. I
Yeah.
didn't have any outlet. I didn't have
Yeah.
no this. I didn't even tell my like close girl cousin, my first cousin. Like I literally just sucked it up and thugged it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, I yeah, you keep on going.
Okay.
We just start.
So yeah, in high school, I went to private school. I went to Mercy
Yeah.
High in
Yeah.
Tongan. Went there too. Um and just going to private school, I always wanted to be with the public school kids.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference because when you go to private school, they kind of make fun of you. Well, that's how it was when I went to high school.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, there goes Betty in her little uniforms. And I wanted to be with the other crowd who was saying that stuff. But in, private school, I did struggle. I got suspended twice for fights.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Tongans deal with anger. We have a lot of anger in ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, but then when I was a junior in high school, something happened with my family.
Hmm.
One of my brothers was facing a case for
Hmm.
life, due over murder. And when I was in high school, that really messed me up. I was trying my best to stay good in school, which I was always an honor, a merit girl. But my junior year, which is a very important year in high school that colleges look in, yeah, I was just going through it. My bro was like on the run, and he ended up on the news. The whole Tongan community knew, and it was a really hard time for me to really focus. And I ended up getting a D in English, even though it
Yeah.
is passing in
Yeah.
college. No, 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 no. It don't pass. It don't pass
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
You better go to a community college. So when I got that D and senior year came in for us to apply to colleges, I didn't get into any of the four-year universities.
Yeah.
And I was really hard on myself about that.
Yeah.
I went to private school for 12 years. This is not no free education. My
Yeah.
parents worked their backs off for me to go to private school so I can go to college,
Yeah.
and I don't get accepted.
Yeah.
So my older brothers, though, they all went to CSM.
Yeah.
Great college, great
Yeah.
college. Back then, though, um, it was just, that generation, my older brother's generation, they got in trouble a lot. They're actually the reasons why me and my youngest brother went to private school,
Yeah.
because we're gang affiliated,
Yeah.
smoking, and all of it, the whole
Yeah.
shebang.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go to CSM because I
Yeah.
knew if I went to CSM with
Yeah.
all the kids I've been wanting to go to school with, I was not going to do my best.
That's
So
smart because you realize that the crowd you were in wasn't gonna be like kind of like the best support system for you to be able to do what you want to do for your life. Yeah.
I wanted to go to CSM. I
Yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
to go with all the Tongans and
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
But,
But you knew. But you knew.
I knew. I knew. There's nothing wrong with it, man. I got mad love for CSM and all the
Yeah.
public
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
So I decided to move.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I gonna do? I always had a dream of becoming an actor,
Okay.
and I just felt that it was too much of a dream, right?
Yeah.
Too much of a fluff. So I was
Yeah.
like, we gotta be realistic. What are we gonna do here?
Yeah.
So I took the broadcasting route.
Yeah.
I said, okay, how are we gonna do this? So I just made a huge move to LA. I moved by myself. I was only
Mhm.
18 years old. I didn't have a house or anything, so I
Yeah.
had to family, friends. There
Yeah.
are relatives, but it's like not first cousins, second cousins.
Yeah. No, close.
Oh, we family.
Yeah. Yeah. You just walk in the door. Hey, what's up?
So I was actually residing with a family while I was
Yeah.
I was staying in OC, going to school in LA. I was commuting
Okay.
about an hour, and then I
Mhm.
had to change it, so I went to a JUCO, and I started off in a JUCO, junior college,
Yeah.
in LA, and then I moved to a junior college in OC because of
Yeah.
my commuting time.
Yeah.
Spent 2 years over there, and then I got my AA from
Mhm.
the JUCO over there. And then I had a decision to make. Am I going to go back to the Bay, or am I going to stay in LA? So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go big or go home. So we're just going to stay
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I ended up moving to LA, and then I moved to another family friend
Mhm.
house. So I'm over here just living with different relatives. Like,
Yeah.
oh, so thankful that we are Tongan. But then there was a situation with their living
Yeah.
circumstances. So at my last year of my undergrad, I did live in my car. I was out in LA just living in my car, but I was lying to my parents because
Yeah.
I told my family I was living in my car in LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking yappy. It's throw her whatever
Come home.
you do,
Yeah.
especially if I'm a Tongan girl,
Yeah.
they would never ever let me go through that.
Especially
But
you're the youngest too.
yes.
Yeah. Right. You're the baby.
Feel the pressure. But yeah, I wanted to finish what I went out there for. So I just, I told them I was okay, I'm good. I'm over here at the dorms, which is just the parking lots. And it was really survival of the fittest, I was taking showers at the gyms, whatever public bathroom was near me, that's where I would brush my teeth or just stay near if I needed to use a restroom. I did steal food. I would ask some money from my brothers, but I hated asking help from my family because I know
Yeah.
we have rent here, we got bills here. So I didn't want to add on to the stress. So yeah, I stole my food and I just used my outlets. I hang out with my classmates, but none of my classmates knew because I was
Yeah.
still embarrassed, like, oh yeah, I'm kind of homeless right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in May, I finished school. I went back home, got my family, and came back for my graduation to get my bachelor's in broadcast journalism. Um, so then we came back here with my degree, and I'm like, yay, I did it. But it's like getting a degree is one thing,
Yeah.
but using that degree is another thing.
Yeah.
So,
Finding a career is different. Yeah.
so I was really hard on myself. I was like, man, I did not move out the house at a young age, freaking became homeless just to come back home here in Shoreview and stare at the wall.
Yeah.
So I was applying. I was applying to jobs. I applied to the airport. I was applying to my career jobs too, but I was applying to, I was desperate for any type of job,
Mm-hmm.
any job. McDonald's didn't take me. Jack in the Box didn't take me.
Yeah. How's that possible?
That's what I said. I was like, wow, my customer service is on point. Y'all tripping.
Are you sure you ain't crazy on the low?
It took me 5 months,
Yeah.
to find anything.
Yeah.
And when it was October, I got a call,
Mm-hmm.
and it was from a lady named Ellen Hyatt,
Yeah.
and she called me from iHeartRadio, and she told me she got my demo, and she wants me to come in to record a demo there in their studio and
Mm-hmm.
possibly get an interview.
Yeah.
And I was just so excited. I said, "Oh my gosh, yes, thank you." And I went in, I recorded my demo, and I was waiting on her, called up on her, calling on the job, and she told me I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And I was just so sad. I was like, wow, I really thought that this was it. But even though I didn't get the job, she did offer me another position, which was
Yeah.
to produce traffic.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take
Yeah.
it. So that's when I started working at iHeartRadio in 2018
Mm-hmm.
as a traffic producer. And then in 2018, I finally got on air as a traffic reporter. And shoot, that was dope to me.
Yeah.
That was really crazy because I never thought I would actually get a job in what I studied. And then I started getting a lot of calls from this school called Academy of Art University in San
Mm-hmm.
Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept ignoring it. And one day I just finally answered it. And it was a guy named Eric. And he
Mm-hmm.
was asking me if I had dreams, if I had goals. And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
wait my way in. I'm like, what do you
Yeah.
want? Some money? And they were just telling me, like, come check out our open house.
Yeah.
If you're an artist or whatever. So I went to go check it out. And right when I walked in and I looked to the left, there was a sign that said acting. Um, and they had a department school for acting. And I thought that was really crazy because my dream was to be an actor.
Yeah.
I took this broadcasting route because it was like a plan B, something to fall
Yeah.
back. So when I seen that and I checked them out, I really liked it. So then I ended up applying, and then I started grad school at Academy of Art in 2019 last year. So I've been acting with them. Also, with iHeartRadio, they are part
Mm-hmm.
of ASHA, which is a working performers union.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that I'm a part of that, it actually gives me another outlet for acting. Um, so yeah, I've just been acting and broadcasting in San Francisco, and I get my master's next month.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much about my journey.
That's dope. That's dope. All right. What's your since you really like acting, what's your favorite like acting movie scene of all time?
My favorite acting movie scene? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
The one you you always play out, behind closed scenes, like in the shower or something.
I don't know about playing it out, but I do have a favorite scene. It's really corny. I don't know if you watched 10 Things I Hate About You. It
Yeah,
was
is that Heath Ledger?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
The paintball scene.
The paintball scene?
The paint. So they go paint. They go shooting. Paintball shooting, and then
Yeah.
like they actually end up kissing finally. Yeah, that's my favorite scene.
The romantic, so you like the romantic movies, right?
I liked it because there was like struggle, there was a
Yeah.
tragedy going on and they didn't want to face it and then finally did. And I was like, finally.
All right, that's cool. So, I do want to talk about your journey, especially like your career path. Like, man, you went through a lot. That's that's a crazy path you just talked about. Leaving house at 18. Most people, most Tongans don't leave the house until they get married.
Right.
So that's crazy. So, I want to ask you. So, how was it? Was it difficult? Because was it difficult like striving towards your dreams, being a Tongan woman, right? Do you feel like that? Do you feel like was it? Do you feel like being Tongan in the culture did you get a lot of support? Because I know a lot of times within our Tongan community, like sometimes like we don't have to, like they're not really encouraging or supportive especially when you decide to go a different career path that we're not accustomed to, right? Or if you live a lifestyle that's not in the traditional mode of what a Tongan woman should live, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So can you talk about that? Like, how was your experience growing up as a Tongan woman and trying to achieve your goals and dreams and trying to go out there and pursue your degree, doing what you wanted to do? How did being Tongan and the culture, how did that affect? Did it make it harder to do that, or did it make it easier? I want to ask you.
I'd have to say it was both.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed to have my parents
Yeah.
supported me since I came to this earth.
Yeah.
Whatever I wanted to pursue, whatever I wanted to do, they were right behind me.
Cool.
And it was most definitely because my mom, she stays reminding me, I came to Tonga to seek a better future. Like she always says that to me. And she's like, whatever you want to do, you better do it. And oh my gosh, I'm about to get emotional, but that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
My folks, they didn't sugarcoat anything to me.
Yeah.
They told me straight how it was.
Yeah.
My mom always told me she was gonna die. Who tells that to their little girl? I'm gonna die one day.
No, that's just talking to parents. How that's their over dramatic. That's how they
Right?
encourage us.
I'm
Always
like,
be over dramatic.
But I learned as a little girl, like my mom really wants me to not depend on anybody.
Yeah.
She wants to make sure when she leaves and my dad leaves this earth to the Father, I'm gonna be straight on earth. Feel me?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be cool down here.
Yeah.
So being Tongan, that just pushed them it pushed them to push on me.
Yeah.
And I'm over here pushing.
Yeah.
Growing up, people didn't know where Tonga was.
Yeah.
How many times I had told people, oh, I'm Tongan. They're like, you're what? From where?
Yeah.
And it would always stick to me because I'm like, man, before I leave this earth, everybody better know where Tonga is. You feel me?
Yeah.
I got me messed up. Like we're America's minority.
Yeah.
We don't even make 1% in this country.
Yeah. Yep.
And so being Tongan, man, that was no struggle for me. The only struggle where it was because the type of woman I was becoming.
Yeah.
Like, my mom noticed I had a potty mouth as a little girl. And she's
Yeah.
like, don't cuss in front of your brothers, and especially having all brothers.
Yeah.
I had to be separate. I couldn't walk home alone. I needed a chaperone. And that was the only struggle I had being Tongan, was rebelling against that. Because I'm like, nah, I'm a Tongan woman, but I'm a Tongan woman from America.
Yeah.
And I don't like these little limitations y'all giving me.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I was a little hooey to my parents. I'm not gonna lie, because I felt if I did it, I would be not who I am right now.
Yeah.
I would have, gosh, I can't even picture myself. I just feel like I'd be someone that couldn't break out. I broke out at a age.
Yeah.
So man, being Tongan, that helped me. It pushed me, it motivated me. Yeah.
Did you so I can tell you, you said your parents a lot of support was gave you a lot of support, which is kind of cool. And I respect that because like I'm an immigrant. My parents are Tongan immigrants too. So like we have this for me I have this mentality like I saw my parents go through the struggle. So I felt like I have this chip on my shoulder where like I didn't come to America just to come here and just be average. That kind of I wanted to come here to make sure like I not only live a better life, but I can create a better life for my parents. So so your parents supported you? Did you get a lot of support from your other family? Because sometimes people talk, so like did you ever feel like a lot of criticism from your outside your family because you're not living the traditional life of what a Tongan woman should be, you know?
Hell yeah. I'm a very sexually fluid woman.
Yeah.
So, when I dress,
Yeah.
it's not modest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Will, it is not modest. And so,
Yeah.
I see my relatives, how they be looking at me, and it's not even
Yeah.
relatives, it's be communities.
Yeah.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts because they'll be like, how si
Yeah.
wanta kita ahina viola, go
Yeah.
find a Tongan and stuff. And I'll be like, it's just, it was hard to get to where I am now, but before it hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's why so many Tongan women are so hard on their daughters, making sure
Yeah.
they wear the right stuff because they don't want other Tongan women talking about their kids.
Yeah.
So I know that stuff.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to not care, to not give, because sometimes you can't care about what people think. And I got it.
Hold up. I think you're cutting off a little bit.
And that's one of the main.
Hey, can you hold up? Can you hear me?
Yes. Do I need to repeat?
Yeah, can you repeat what you just said like the last 2 minutes?
Okay. That's one of the things I want to attack within the Tongan community, the Polynesian community, and it's sex.
Yeah.
Because I had to learn it on my own.
Yeah.
Okay. Parents aren't talking to the kids about sex. I had to figure out on my own. And so I really want to attack that issue within our community. But because
let's talk about it. Go ahead.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
No, let's talk about it because that is one of the main topics I do hear from my own friends. All right, because we don't talk about sex within our own families, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it is my personal opinion. I feel like it is an important topic to discuss, so we can prepare kids, right? Because if you don't talk about it and if you don't prepare kids for it, then they wouldn't know when they are put in those situations. Mm-hmm. And then that's how sometimes we end up making not the best decision for ourselves and things happen, right? So, and I know a lot of times when we talk about, so I remember I was talking to a mental health counselor, and he was Tongan, and he said that the problem with Tongans within our culture is we make it seem like it's a bad thing, right? Sex is a beautiful thing. That's how we procreate. That's how we make children. It's a thing that everybody does. All right, so it's a beautiful. If you prepare a kid, if you use it wisely, like it's a beautiful thing to express yourself and to do. But because we don't talk about those certain things, then and a lot of times people lack self-esteem. People don't feel like they're beautiful enough. We have this expectation to women. If they sleep around, then they label. They have negative labels upon them. So you kind of like tears. Sometimes it tears individuals down with their self-esteem and their own self-identity when it comes to sex, right? So it's all these layers of different things. So that's what I hear, and that's based on my own conversation with my own friends. So I want to ask you, what is your own personal experience with it, and like I said, and to share anything you want to share about sex within the discussion of sex within our Tongan community. Go ahead.
Where can I start? Just as a little kid,
Yeah.
you're watching movies with your family and like
Yeah.
there's scene, a kissing scene,
Yeah.
like it gets hecka awkward in the room. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
close your eyes, or like someone leaves the room. So that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
With all these boys in this house,
Yeah. Yeah.
there was just no type of there was it's just we didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Parents didn't talk it to me. I obviously learned about it through my school, through
Mm-hmm.
peers, through
Mm-hmm.
movies, through social media, my
Yeah.
own. And I definitely want to give a hand to other girls that grew up the same way,
Yeah.
because I want them to not feel like, oh my gosh. I want them to feel comfortable with it. Not
Yeah.
look at it as such a taboo or something. I know it's something beautiful, and I
Yeah.
understand Tongans, we take it as a very secretive and respectful thing. And I
Yeah.
told them, "Oh, it's gorgeous, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
We need to learn, we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like there's diseases that come with it. When
Yeah.
should you even do it?
Yeah.
Should you just wait?
Yeah.
There's so many things to it. And I really have passion for it, because being the only girl in my family and the way that I be dressing, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard for my brothers to accept the way that I was.
Yeah.
Every time I went out, they're like, put a jacket on. What are
Yeah.
you wearing? And all that stuff. And I noticed that that was some power. The way
Yeah.
that I dressed and the
Yeah.
way that I talked, I know they were being protective, but at the same time, it's just, it needs to be talked more about. And we need to be more educated about it too. Most definitely. I don't think a lot of people know that there's so many things to sex. It's not just the action.
Yeah.
Like, there's a mental thing going on. There's the science inside the body, the anatomy going on.
Yeah. And
So, of
the emotional side of it.
course, the emotional side. So yeah, I'm just a huge advocate for that, because I know it's really hard for Tongans to attack that, and so that's why I want to do it.
All right. So, um, in your experience, like, what are the cons of not talking about it, or like what is that what happens to it in a girl's mind? So since you experience it, what are the things that happen to a girl when we don't talk about it, like based on what you experience and what you see?
um, a lot of girls are insecure,
Yep.
like know anything about sex, or that are still virgins, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Virgins are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I would talk to a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's just sad. It's just like they would, no, I don't look like the girls on the videos. I don't look, they would compare themselves, right? And not really thinking about the actual connection that happens with the intimacy with the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I definitely think it harms them, their self-identity, and how they think of themselves. And not only that, it's just, I know they're very curious about it.
Yeah.
When
We all. It's a natural. We're
they're
all
just like,
like.
ooh, what is that about?
Yeah.
And so I want them to go through the right way, not the dark tunnel of it, which there is a little dark tunnel off
Yeah.
of sex, which we're not going to talk about, but I,
Yeah.
the right way, the educated the way. So when they do it, or when they ever happens, like, they have a really good experience. They don't have
Yeah.
like a horrible Tinder experience, something like.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So, so we talked about the cons. So, what are the pros? Like, you feel like, okay, we do talk about it. How does that affect like a girl in a positive way if we do talk about it and make it more normalized within our culture?
She's more aware, and I think that it gives her more control of the situation.
Yeah.
I think a lot of girls, they don't have control of the situation, so they kind of just like let things happen, and then
Yeah.
after it happened, they probably like, oh my gosh, like maybe having regrets or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just being more prepared and being well knowledge
Hmm.
before putting into actions. And I feel like that's the biggest pro females can get, is knowing what they about to do and being okay that it's gonna happen, and it will
Yeah.
happen, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's you just most girls or most guys are just so worried about what people say. Do you feel like that's a big part of it? It's like
Oh,
the labels.
yeah. There's that's such a we have a whole episode for that one.
Yeah,
There's that negativity that comes with sex, you know, like
yeah,
when people talk about like size, talk about time, talk about just all that stuff, you know.
yeah,
And it kind of sucks because it's like that's just how our body works, you know.
yeah,
But it's just that's how our generation makes it, you know. We kind of make these like girl, like how big was he type
yeah,
of like
yeah,
that girl don't even got a butt, like
yeah,
look
yeah,
type of thing, you know. And yeah, there's a lot of talk, and people will be like, "Oh, we don't want to talk to him because he has a B mouth, right?" Which is like a mouth that talks about, "Oh, I did this with them, I did this with
yeah,
them, that." So you know, that's the negativity that I kind of want to just like I want to clear out. Like I'm really trying to make a positive, just a positive face on sex for
yeah.
us Italians.
Do you feel like sometimes a big part of that plays in a role? Like sometimes like song girls like you guys have that expectation to be like perfect. That's something I hear a lot. That's something I hear a lot from like a lot of Tongan girls or poly girls in general. It's they're really you guys expected to be perfect your whole life, and then and that's why a lot of girls like so insecure and a lot, they're so afraid of sex because they just don't want to break that mold of being seen as perfect. You see that a lot,
Um,
or was that expectation expected of you from your own parents? Like, did they want you to be perfect, or did they have any expectations of you, or they just let you be who you were?
um, well, like going towards me, I'm sorry. I think I'm trying to understand your question.
No, yeah. So like, yeah. I mean, do you feel like as a being a Tongan woman, there is an expectation to be perfect? Because that's what I hear a lot from a lot of girls. Like they always feel this pressure that they have to be perfect. That's why they're so afraid of, having sex or even talking about sex because they don't want to be seen as like dirty or imperfect.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, most
Is
definitely.
that, is that, is that something? Is that something you hear a lot from your own friends or your own experience?
Yeah, my own friends, not my
Yeah,
experience, but I would hear other girls like they can't do it because of how they were raised, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
And I feel that. But at the
yeah,
same time, I'm like, what you trying to say about how I was raised? You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's it's this like I don't want to say it's Tongan, but it's like this ideal that we all were raised in. And I don't see it as bad unless
yeah, yeah,
it's stopping them from doing what they want to do.
yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely do know people like that. And you know, it's sad, it's good, but then at the same time it's like, is that what you want?
Yeah.
Because if it's not, then I'm gonna need you to break these little limitations here.
Yeah.
Um, yes.
Have you ever had talk about sex with your own parents or no?
um, no, my mom when I was like in middle school, she was all like, "Do you know how babies are made?" And I was just like silent. Yes, I do. And she goes, "Does it rhyme with six?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Okay." She said, "Don't do it." And that was it.
Yeah.
That was our sex talk. That was it. Literally. I've
Yeah.
never
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, um, so for you, what do you feel like is like the hardest thing for you? Besides, I know you talked about getting molested as a young child, but as far as your growth, like to be the woman you are today, um, what was the experience in your life that you went through that you feel like was a big contributor to be the person you are today that you in the past out of all the things you went through?
I guess it was just being part of the lower class,
Yeah.
um, being poor, not poor, but
Yeah. Struggle. Yeah.
struggling. It
Yeah.
was definitely the struggle. Um, growing up here in Shoreview, this lifestyle that I still am living, it's different. It's different from my classmates that I've gone to school with. It's different from my coworkers where I'm currently working at. And why I say it's different, I don't even like going into details, but it's like we live a crazy lifestyle. Um, we deal with things, we deal with drugs. I deal with drugs my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking it. We'll talk about that later. Um,
Yeah.
but just dealing with what low class people deal with, you know. Like in this house, my house, we stayed here about 14 years.
Yeah.
We've been renting it for 14 years. And let me tell
Yeah.
you, this house is, I just pimped it out this year, but before we got rats up in here. We got
Yeah.
rats up in here. My grass is not green. It is
Yeah.
brown and dead.
Hmm.
And my house just looks different. It's actually pretty funny because when you drive around, you just know what house is Tongan and what house is not Tongan. You
Yeah.
just know.
Shoreview. Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, my surroundings growing up, we were different.
Yeah.
A lot of us, I'm not gonna lie, we were very bold.
Yeah.
Like we would join gangs, we would throw up gang signs, we would steal just to steal. We would drink, we
Yeah.
would smoke when we were not even 21 yet, not even
Yeah.
18. And I had to rise up from that. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody's still stuck, it's just that everybody tries to have like some sort of reputation.
Yeah.
I feel when you're from Shoreview too, like there's this gangster thing going on. There's this thug life you gotta like keep up to.
Yeah.
But being the only girl growing up with all those thugs in my life,
Yeah.
I knew that the most gangster thing that I could do is doing me
Yeah.
and not doing what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Breaking those, what would you call those? Oh my gosh, I'm spacing out.
Breaking the cycle.
Breaking the cycle, breaking the
Yeah.
barriers that, what I'm saying, I know hella Tongans, they deal with it too,
Yeah.
from from Oakland to EPA to here in Matteo to Bruno. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I
Yeah.
know y'all all know the lifestyle I'm talking about. And
Yeah. Yeah.
a huge contributor to my life because I was always taught, my parents, they always had pressure on me, like, you know better, not to be part of any gang, not to be, doing what I taught you not to do. And
Hmm.
that really stuck to me. Um,
Yeah.
feel me? I feel like people, they want the recognition for the wrong things.
Yeah.
They're trying to get their stripes, I should
Yeah.
say. But
Yeah.
it's like y'all trying to get the recognition for the wrong things, like really wrong things. And I claim myself to be a gangster, but it's not. I never held a gun. I
Yeah.
never really did some real gangster shit.
Yeah.
The gangster in me is I always just thrive.
Yeah.
It's thriving out of my head, trying to represent us in a different way. And I say that's a huge contributor for me is this struggle.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the struggle, I know I would not be where I am right now.
Yeah. Okay. Why do you feel like? Because I do have a lot of cousins in Shoreview, right? And they live in that life. And so I have some cousins that are being incarcerated for life, um, right now. So in your personal opinion, like, why do you feel like it's hard for those kids to get out that lifestyle? And do you feel like are they a product of their environment, or do you feel like or do you feel like it's because um not having I think one of my friends said that one of the reasons he fell into that lifestyle is because his parents are always, Tongan parents, immigrant parents, they're always working, they're out of working two jobs, so they're never home. So he felt like it's because my parents were never home, then I had to find some kind of family. and that gang was the family that he only had, and that's why he got into it. And that's why it was so hard for him to get out of it. So in your experience, like, why do you feel like a lot of Tongan kids, because this seems like a current thing from every generation, it's going to continue in our generation, it's probably going to continue in the next generation, right? So why do you in your experience, like, why do you feel like a lot of Tongan kids fall into that lifestyle? Do you feel like it's with our Tongan upbringing, because our parents are always working, so like they're never home to kind of give us more guidance of what we should be doing? Or what do you think in your opinion?
It's hard to say because time has changed.
Yeah.
Because when I was over here being a little wannabe crip and stuff,
Yeah.
that was like in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
And I feel that during that time, why I was over here trying to be this huge thug and all this stuff is because that's what my older brothers were doing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
And I feel like they were doing that because of the exact reason you were saying. Like my parents were always working,
Yeah.
and who they hung out with was like their homies and like
Yeah.
cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's just an outlet. It's an outlet. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of things are happening at home. It's cool because I got my second family that I can
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
But yeah, time has changed. Like nowadays, like I don't really bang like that. I still represent Shoreview with all my heart, but it's like, I'm not a huge banger like that. Like it's 2020. Kids are still joining gangs.
Yeah.
Like, nah, bro, you gotta, I'm trying to change the game, feel me? It ain't about that no more. It's about getting a life, getting the future, staying alive, living for a long time.
Yeah. It's crazy thing is it's now kids that want to join gangs, but they come from nice neighborhoods.
Right. And
Right.
it's when it becomes a trend. Like,
Yeah.
it all comes from hip hop.
Yeah.
That's where it all came from. Hip hop, it came to clothes, it came into slang, it came into all of that.
Yeah.
So that's why all these kids, they're trying to be all tough, but it's like, little do you know, the real gangsters are trying to come into your neighborhood. We're trying to come to the hills.
Yeah.
But, it's just a mentality thing.
It's all good. So I do want to talk about, like, you pursuing your dreams and goals, right? That for me, I always get excited when people share their dreams and goals, because it's always easy. I have my own dreams and goals as well, so it's always good to hear from other people as well, especially Tongans, right? So, why do you feel like a lot of Tongans don't pursue their goals? I want to talk about that. I want to have this discussion, right? You don't, because I talked to, we all, one thing I do know, everybody has a goal and dream. We all have it. It doesn't matter who we are. But sometimes, we're the circumstances you grow up in and can be tough, and the people you hang around with can also be playing. Life itself can stop people. But in your personal opinion, your experience, like, what makes it hard for Tongans to actually be different and stay true to themselves and go out there and pursue their dream? Because I feel like that's one of the things of our poly community, why we don't progress and improve, because we just keep doing the same thing over and over. So why do you feel like it's hard for us as a being, you grew up as a Tongan girl, you have South Tongan friends. Why do you feel like it's hard for Tongans to take a chance and try to pursue their goals and dreams?
I feel they don't know their passion.
Yeah.
I feel the majority of people, they want to do something, but it's just they don't know what. And then they try all this different stuff.
Why do you feel like they don't know why? What?
They don't know what?
Yeah.
Because I feel like they have all this talent. I feel like they have all this talent, but they just don't know which one to really strap down. Because finding I feel like you need to have passion for whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have passion, that's gonna be really hard to pursue.
Yeah.
It has to move you. And I feel like it's hard for nowadays in our generation. Why it's so hard to do that is because this is a really good topic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I want to talk about it. Why is it hard? Like, why is it? I mean, you see it, Palangis do it, you see Black people do it, Asians do it, you pursue it. Like, why is it hard Why is it hard for us to pursue our passion?
I think everybody goes through their own individual journeys, you know.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's a cultural thing?
Sheesh, I hope not. We got to work on that if it is.
Because sometimes because I growing up Tongan myself, I feel like as Tongans we're very religious, right? So we grew up in church, and then the Tongan way is to just we just be grateful for what you have, and that's how we're raised. Is that island mentality, right? Just don't pursue anything more. To have more is seen as greed, if that makes sense, right? So if I told my parents I want to be a millionaire, I want to create generational wealth, they might take that as, oh, you're being I'm a greedy person. Like, why you want money? Why are you materialistic?
Yeah.
It's not even about being materialistic. I just want. There's nothing wrong if you want to be a millionaire. There's nothing wrong if you want to create wealth for yourself. But I know within our community, we're taught just to settle and just be grateful for what we have, because that's the gospel life. The Christ-like life is just to live a humble in life. Don't try to achieve more. Don't try to gain more. Just live a life that's the path of Jesus Christ, of the path of God, and die. Right. So that's my take on it. Right. What do you think about that? Because that's why I feel like a lot of us don't ask for more for life, or go out there for a better life, because we're just taught just to settle for what we have, because that's the Tongan way, that's the Christ-like way, and we kind of condition like that as a kid, and that's why it's really hard for us to get out that mindset that it's okay if you want more for your life. It's okay if you want to create a better life. It's okay if you want to become a millionaire, create wealth. It's whatever you want to do in your life, it's okay. You don't. If you don't want to be like everybody else, that's fine too. But what's your thoughts on that?
As humbling and as lovely as that is, I never learned it. I never seen this perception. I guess I'm kind of a little bit new to it, just a little bit, but it seems familiar. I just would think that, coming from Tonga to this white man land, we can't be like that.
Yeah.
And the reason behind it, I guess it is cultural. It is cultural. It's being Christian and trying to follow the model of Jesus Christ, which we all should be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not humble like that. I think we all need to strive. I think we all need to break. I think Tongan people are slept on, to be honest.
Yeah. We are.
We are so slept on. And the fact that, some people just, I don't even want to say settle anymore, because I feel like it's disrespecting, but the fact that people aren't breaking these barriers for the reasons, I don't have the answer. I do not have the answer. Well, I have thoughts on it, and all I could say is you can do whatever you can do. With God, anything is possible.
Yeah.
So all I had to say is that if there's people dealing with that, really believe in yourself, have faith in yourself. Fudge, dang.
No, when you told your family that you wanted to be an actor, what was their response?
I would rather tell you my brother's response.
Your brother's response. Yeah.
Yeah, my brothers, they were making fun of me.
Yeah.
Just actor, you wish you would become an actor. They just weren't very supportive.
Yeah.
It's just something I was kind of used to because they were my brothers.
Yeah.
But my parents, they were very supportive. They kind of told me, the sky's the limit, the world is yours.
Mm-hmm.
But my brothers, it was hard dealing with being the only girl. They'd always made fun of me.
Yeah.
Maybe in the back of their voice, I kind of heard a little support, but it was mostly clowning on me.
Okay. So what do you call it? So for you, when you went when you went to LA by yourself, right? So I can tell you're really independent, right? You just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah. So how did you become independent? You just decided was it just being you just wanted to pursue something, so you just went and did what you did, or do you feel like part of your independence came from your parents' support to just let you do whatever you want to do? Because I feel like a lot of Tongan girls out there, they want to be independent, but it's hard for them to be independent because of their family or their parents.
It was definitely my mom. I got
Yeah,
it from my mama. She was a very hardworking woman. She's very fierce. And when I told her I wanted to move to LA, she stomped her foot. She
yeah,
said, "LA? With who? How are you gonna do this? Who are you gonna be with?" Da, da, da,
yeah,
da, da. So my move to LA, it was kind of hard for my parents,
yeah,
especially because I didn't get accepted to a university and there's no dorms. Um, so they'd support me, but it was hard to leave home. You know,
yeah.
I was the only girl. I'm the baby too,
Hmm.
and I wasn't on my feet yet. So for
Yeah.
me to just leave like that,
Hmm.
it was hard for my parents. But what my mom was, what she kept telling herself was that, she has to learn someday. Um, and my mom and my dad basically gave me their trust for
Yeah.
me to move out on my own. And
Hmm.
it was hard. It was hard,
Yeah.
Will. But I mean, it wasn't hard for me. I was like, woohoo, I'm out the house. School
Yeah.
was my outlet. Like I was
Yeah.
out. But for them, it was hard for them to take it in. But they knew that it was all part of my journey.
Hmm.
I guess they really did know that, and I'm so appreciative that they did let me go do that because I learned so much from going to SoCal by myself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you feel like for you personally? Like, what do you feel like is based on your experience? Like, what do you feel like the things that holds us back from growing as Tongans?
Growing as
Just like
first,
personal growth. To reach your potential, to move forward, to progress, to achieve your goals and dreams. Like, get out of your comfort zone. What do you feel like what do you feel like is the thing that holds us most like back? Is it
well, I mean, in general,
in general, or yeah,
but in general, it's ourselves. I feel
yeah?
like everybody stands in their own way, but
But as a Tongan, what do you feel like?
as a Tongan, it's I always felt like currently right now, I felt I'm struggling with doing my future and making sure my parents are straight.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, that's big.
Like, but then at the same time, I feel like doing my future is making sure my parents are straight. But it's like, see, for now, I want to move to Georgia. I want to move to ATL
Yeah,
just for acting career. But since I've been home, it's been 2 years. Like my parents, I've noticed, are growing old.
yeah,
I think parents are just a good anchor. I don't want to say it's a bad anchor, but it's an anchor to kids because we don't want to just like leave them.
yeah, yeah. Hold up, I think you're cutting out one.
Anything if I need to, because I noticed that my internet is going
Yeah,
unstable.
yeah, yeah. Can you repeat that one more time? Yeah,
So, just being as a Tongan girl right now, currently,
yeah,
it is hard for me to leave and
yeah,
continue pursuing my career when I have parents here at home.
yeah,
It's just that time and that distance apart. It's kind of a struggle.
yeah, yeah. That's one of the things I hear a lot from some of my Tongan friends. Like they want to pursue their goals and dreams, but you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so that's one of the things I hear from my Tongan friends is like they want to, live their life and pursue their goals and dreams, but at the same time, they want to take care of their parents. And of course, in our culture, we don't send our parents like the belongings to nursing homes. We actually take care of them physically, and we take care of them. We don't leave that responsibility to anybody else
Yeah.
about ourselves. But I know that could be hard, maybe especially for women, because that responsibility usually falls to the girls, not typically the guys. The guys are free to do whatever they want to do. But I do see a lot of Tongan girls that hold back their career, hold back what they really want to do, and think about their parents' life. Like, we don't know how long our parents live. So they may live for 5 years, or they may live for the next 30 years. And then 30 years from now, by then, their time has passed. Their window of opportunity to do what they wanted to do has passed. And then I see a lot of them, like there's this like longing regret they live with. So it's really hard. That's really like, there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just, it depends on the person. Depends on the person. And because I can feel you when you say that. Because like, I mean, it's funny. I'm about to move to LA next month to go pursue things for myself. So,
Oh,
oh
okay.
yeah. So I'm
I
kind of
wish you
excited.
luck.
Huh?
I
Oh
wish
yeah,
you
yeah,
luck.
yeah. Thank you. But
Oh,
but it's cool. But from my personal experience, it's kind of cool because as a guy, like I have sisters. They take care of my parents. So I just do my thing. But I kind of have empathy, sympathy as well to Tongan girls out there that they want to achieve their goals and dreams, but at the same time they want to take care of their parents. And then sometimes it's sad for me because, especially when you see somebody that they have a lot of potential, they got what it takes. Like they have it, right?
mhm.
And I know they have a good shot if they actually pursued it. But it's hard to see somebody that have all that talent, that potential, and never fully utilize it because of our cultural tradition of taking care of our parents all the way to they pass away, which I believe it's a beautiful thing. But that's something it's hard to navigate that.
Wow.
It's hard to navigate that. Do you see that not only with yourself? Do you see that a lot with your friends as well?
Yes, most definitely. Majority of my
Well,
friends are first generations too.
yeah.
So,
So what are they saying as far as like what they think about it?
yeah, they they're struggling too. They can't wait to like get their own spot.
Yeah,
It's that mind in the back, like, wait, what about my folks though? Like,
yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely a struggle of doing your own thing, trying to do your own thing, same time taking care of them. Um, a lot of my friends though, their parents, they're good. Like they don't need to be like taken care of or pushed around. They're walking around good. It's just like all of the booties they need to do, and just the Tongan girl. What do you call it? It's just like automatic things. Like the house needs to be clean. That's my job. I'm supposed to clean this house. I'm supposed to do this cooking and shit. And I'm supposed to, all of this at the same time. I'm broadcasting and acting, going crazy. Um, so man, yeah, a lot of my friends, they're going through it mentally. We're in a group message to check in each time
Hmm. Hmm.
because mentally they're going crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying my parents drive me crazy, but
Yeah.
it's a lot to take in.
Yeah. I feel like it's like our parents want us. Um, that's just my based on my conversations with some. They want us to be successful, but at the same time, like they don't want us to leave, right?
Yeah.
Which is like counterproductive. Um, I think it's something you said before. Um, when if you pursue your goals and dreams, then it's gonna benefit the family, right? And I feel like sometimes like Tongans or maybe parents like they're short sighted, they don't see it, because success is a long term game, right? It's not gonna happen overnight.
Of course.
So so a lot of times I feel like as families or parents, because they don't see the results now, they feel like it's mama time. It's like it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
So, but they don't understand that if you actually do what you got to do and then you do make it, it's gonna benefit not only you, but it's gonna. I
Yeah.
think one of my mentors mentors for me, that's one thing he always said, like, yeah, let me leave and go be successful, and then I'll come back and grab everybody else, right? But
Yeah.
what's the point of us all staying and then we all struggle,
Hmm.
all right? And then that becomes that it's a reoccurring thing and nothing happens, nothing changes. So
Yeah.
let one of us just let go, whatever it's a girl, whatever it's a guy. Do you feel like it's more? Do you feel like the answer to that is based on your conversation with your parents? Because if your parents have understand to let you go, and that's a conversation I had with one of my friends that he said that the reason why as Tongan kids we don't want to leave because we don't want to have that guilt, right? That if you
Mm.
leave and something happens,
Yeah.
right? He
Hmm.
said that the best way, one of my friends we talked about, he said the best way to encourage kids to leave so they can be Tongan kids, especially to leave and go be successful, is the parents have to talk to their kids and take away that guilt. Let them know, look, go do your thing, and if something happens to us, it's not your fault,
Mm.
right? It is what it is,
Hmm.
right? Because if we don't have that conversation, then that guilt will always be there with us. But I think hearing it from your parents and having that conversation, look, and getting that support from your parents, let them know, hey, go do your thing, and if something, if I happen to die next week and you're not here, then you should never feel ashamed. You should never feel guilt because I want you to be happy. I want you to be successful. I want you to go be the best you can be. That's why I gave birth to you because I want you to have a better life than I did.
Hmm.
Do you feel like that would definitely help if you had that conversation with your parents to kind of talk about, because we don't want that guilt, so they eliminate that guilt from your kids so they can be free to go and be free to do what they want to do, be successful.
I think it will help a lot of Tongans if they have
Yeah,
a conversation with their
yeah.
parents. No, I think you're so right. I think the reason why I do my acting, why I do my broadcasting is because I truly believe that if I invest in myself, that it's gonna go 360 back to my parents and my whole family.
Yeah, you win. Everybody wins.
Yeah. When I was homeless, I had this diary.
Yeah,
At the end, I had this little saying, and it was to dream, to succeed, to bring it back home.
yeah.
And it's literally what you were talking about. But maybe I don't, maybe if my parents talk to me again, I'll be okay moving. But it's just more in for me as a daughter. I
That's what I'm
just
saying. Like, do you feel like that if you moved and something happened, do you feel like you would feel guilty?
I won't. If we had
You wouldn't
that
feel
talk,
guilty.
I won't
No,
because
no,
we
no, no. Like, no, without having that talk. That's
oh
why.
without having that talk.
That's why it's hard for you to move because you don't want to feel guilty if you leave something happens to him, right?
Um,
If
I right now I'd say maybe I would, but knowing if I did do that, I wouldn't because I know my parents wanted that for me.
exactly, yeah. Like you got, but good thing for you, like your parents are supportive of your dream, and that's what they want for you.
Hmm.
So that's how that works out for you. But for most, like a lot of the Tongan kids out there,
I know.
yeah, we just feel it's that guilt that holds us back. I feel like it's not. Yeah, it's we just don't want to leave, and something happens, and then we have to live with that guilt forever.
Yeah.
I feel like parents, like if we want to, if we really want the best for our kids, and if we really want to break the generation cycles of poverty within our communities, we
Mhm.
have to encourage our kids to do better, and that's going to require them to leave. Right. But I think I think as parents, I feel like they should take that guilt away, have that conversation, and let them know it's okay if I pass away tomorrow and you're not here. It's fine. You always love. I'll always. You've always done your job as a son, as a daughter. You always, ever since you were here. Now it's your time to go spread your wings and fly.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have to agree. Most definitely.
yeah. So want to talk about mental health. All right, I want to talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So, have you ever gone through your own episodes of mental health within your own life?
I have. I'd say I went through it as a little
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went through a lot of it as a little kid growing up, but I wasn't really educated about that stuff.
Yeah.
My parents about depression or just certain mood swings. I have an anger issue. I have a huge anger issue. Uh,
Oh,
ever
I
since I was
thought I thought I thought that was just a Shoreview thing.
Woo! Oh well.
My bad.
No.
I thought that was just a gang.
um,
This is a gang thing. You guys are
yeah.
all angry, all angry.
I'm
Build some
so
anger. You got a messed up childhood. That's why it's so
Yep.
angry.
Yep. Yeah.
uh,
I just I always had anger problems, but I
yeah,
knew it I kept a lot in.
yeah,
And I was never taught to express.
yeah. To let it
Never
go. Yeah,
express myself.
yeah,
I was just like suck it in, hold it in. So that definitely messed me up as a kid.
yeah, yeah.
And I think that's why I had anger issues, is
Hmm.
because I just let it all build in. So I got in little fights when I was a little kid. I'd be yelling back at my parents. I'd be swearing at my brothers.
Hmm.
And I'm so glad that I tapped into it when I was in college. When I moved out to LA, that's when I finally checked in on my mental. And whew, man, how important is that? There I go again. I'm gonna repeat myself.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I actually heard. Yeah, everything's good. Yeah.
But yeah, mental is so important. And we were talking about careers and talking about passion and purposes, and that can do a lot to your brain if
Hmm.
you aren't pursuing your career, if you're not doing what you want to do. Um, it's just really important that people check in on your mental,
Yeah.
because that's where it sends the messages out throughout our whole body.
Hmm. When did you start being aware of your mental health? What age?
When did I started becoming aware of it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I want to say I was like 19,
19.
19 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever, when you were going through when you were suffering mentally, did you ever express that to your parents or your family?
No.
No. I feel like that's a Tongan thing.
Yeah.
We never we don't we keep everything in. You know.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel like we have this like warrior mentality. Like we have to be strong all the time. It's just like
Matima
this
atonga.
matematonga, like the matematonga mentality that we have to be strong all the time, and to be weak and to have moments of vulnerability is seen as a weakness,
Yes.
right? So that's why a lot of times we don't really express ourselves. So um, is it not only with you, but you feel like that's a common thing with your own friends too? Like, because I feel like my personally, most of my friends a lot of them go through depression.
Mm. Most definitely. That's why I have this little group chat with some
Hmm.
people. I wait, hold on. You got a group chat going on too. You got, but no, mine's just like with like 2 3 other people,
Yeah,
and yeah, they're very depressed.
yeah,
It's really sad to see so many of us Tongans, especially young Tongans,
yeah,
going through it.
yeah,
And I call it a silent war. Like
yeah.
there's a
Silent battles.
war
Yep.
going on with ourselves, but ain't nobody saying nothing.
Hmm. I know.
It's really sad because there are cases where there's suicidals that happen. Um,
I know, and I see that too. Sad.
yeah.
What do
I
you?
think I got your question.
No, no, no. Say, what do you feel like? What do you feel like we should do to help out with that?
I'd say as simple as talk more, but it's harder than that. It's easier said than done.
I think talking is the first step. I think talking is like the first step. That's something to
Yeah.
talk about it and not hide
Um,
it, and not keep it in.
yeah. It's actually pretty funny. Well, we just had a funeral going on, and I had a lot of people come up to me saying like, "Dude, I love your posts. Like, I love reading your stories." And I would just be like, "Oh, okay." So one thing I do a little, I just would post like positive things. I would post
Mhm.
motivational things, and people would hit me up, be like, "I needed to see this today," or
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, it's a sign I had to see this."
Hmm.
So little things like that, just spreading it through technology, because I know everybody's social media savvy right now.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, talking about it, it's so hard, Will. Like even with myself, I'd be a huge hypocrite right now. Like I let people vent to me all the time, but do
Yeah.
I? No, I don't
No.
vent. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't latch out, but I let people latch out to me because I know
Yeah.
it's. But I just let my own stuff build in. So I guess it's really hard for me to talk about it because I'm working on my own mental too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard for
Yeah.
me to talk about this.
No. No. It's no. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, usually if you're, I mean, just talk about for you to talk about your life. Usually, if you're an independent person, you learn to deal with your own problems yourself. Yeah, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
So just I mean, just listen to you what you went through. You went through so much yourself when you left, and then you were living homeless. So those experiences taught you how to handle that by yourself. Like there wasn't nobody out there, so you realize how to deal with it. But some which can be a positive thing. But one thing I always like to tell, even when I do meet independent Tongans or I do meet strong willed Tongans, I always tell them that it's okay to get help sometimes.
I know. I know. You're right.
and,
You are.
and that's one thing I'm the same way. Like I'm independent. Like I prefer to handle my own issues myself. But I've learned that I do have limits to what I can do, and there's certain and I realize there's certain things, certain situations, certain experiences that we go through that we can't go by. We can't do it by ourselves. There, we do need people. I mean, the right people. So I've learned that I slowly had to learn that lately, where it's okay if I reach out to somebody else, and if I do want to vent, or if I do want to just talk about what I'm going through, and that helps a lot more than just holding it in. But that's something I had to deprogram myself and take that old belief that I gotta do this on my own. F everybody.
I'm slowly. I'm learning too. I'm
Yeah,
slowly
yeah, yeah.
my
I mean, it's
progress right here.
yeah. I'm not at full mode yet, but I've learned slowly that I just realized, life teaches you that. I just learned that if I try to do everything on my own, I won't get that far. You still need a good team around you, a good support system.
You're right. Just two
Uh,
days ago, I had a flat tire.
yeah,
It took me 3 hours, but let me tell you, three men stopped. Three men stopped, and they're just like, "Hey, ma'am, like, do you need help?" And I was like, "No, I got
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I'm good. You can keep driving away." And one posted, and I was just like, "Can you go? I got this." And so finally, I just let the third guy. I was like, "You know what? Like, you can help me, fine." And like he helped me, and then I was just like, kind of getting like, I'm so stubborn, you know. I don't know if it's a Tongan thing or a Shoreview thing, but I'm just so stubborn and I'm so hard headed, and it's something that
yeah,
I'm really working on because I really do want people to help me, but it's like I can help myself, but I'm working on changing that.
yeah, yeah, man. You gotta get some help sometimes.
I know. I was there for 3 hours.
And finally, no wonder the town guys are crazy. No, I was
Yeah.
joking. I was just joking. No, but yeah, I think we pretty much, yeah, I think we covered it. Anything else you want to share? You want to talk about?
No, it's just really cool meeting you and talking to
Yeah,
you. Like,
yeah,
really.
I know it's cool.
I really enjoyed our conversation. Sorry, my lighting, it's getting a little light here.
No, let me ask you this: like, what you were talking about motivation and positivity. Like, what inspired you to do that? Like, why did you start posting?
Well, I recently became a health coach this year. So when people hear health, they just think, oh, eating.
Yeah.
But health means your mentality, your
Yeah.
spirituality, physicality,
Emotional. Yeah.
exactly, all of the shebang.
Yeah.
So that's why I started to post positivity motivation, because and I get a lot of feedback from it. Like, I'd get
Mm-hmm.
I heart emojis, 100 emojis. But because I see that it's affecting people,
Mm-hmm.
like, really, like, be like, they screenshot and they'd be like, oh, stealing this, like, whatever, like, and just that little help. That's why I like doing it, because it helps people. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Oh, I had also another question like that. Was it 'cause I know you mentioned earlier in the beginning that you don't speak Tongan. So was that hard? Was that hard growing up and not speaking the Tongan and not really know the culture like that? Was that hard for you?
um I spoke Tongan when I was a little girl.
Okay.
Really crazy.
Yeah.
I spoke a lot of Tongan, but growing up, my Tongan language just started to fade away. And
Yeah.
we live in America, and it's just they don't have a Tongan option out here.
Yeah.
I started to lag in my culture,
Yeah.
and I could speak a little Tongan, but if we
Yeah.
had a full conversation, it's gonna be Tongan English, Tongan
Yeah.
English.
Yeah.
Um, it's not. It's actually a struggle now, because when my
Yeah.
mom and dad talk to me in Tongan, I have to ask them again to
Yeah.
repeat, and then
Yeah.
I get irritated. Especially my brother. He'd be like, "Can you just speak English?" And I'd be looking at him, be like, "Watch your tone, like,
Yeah.
speak to mom and dad, because we have to respect
Yeah.
our."
Yeah. Yeah.
But it hurts me being Tongan, being a Tongan woman here, and I'm not fully fluent in the Tongan language.
Yeah.
Um, oh my goodness. When I go to Tonga too, it's kind of like Sio Lalo, and I'm like, oh, let me try. And when I do it, they're just like, man, like,
Just
I'm scared I might cuss, because we have very harsh,
yeah.
words,
Yeah.
prefixes, like
Yeah.
fucka. You know what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I might say things that I don't mean. So it's more of like a self identity thing. It's
Yeah.
just, I want to be Tongan. I don't want to if I ever get there, I don't want to disgrace the Tongans. I don't want to disgrace any my family, my hood. But it is what it is. I'm still
Yeah.
working. There was this guy on Facebook. He was having Tongan classes, and I was like doing it, but I need to catch up on it. Um,
Oh, okay.
but I'm kind of embarrassed by it, to be honest. Like, when people talk to me in Tongan, I try my best to talk to it, and I'm like, oh, man, yeah.
just
We just
just
don't
say
speak English, or
just just say
I'll
just say
catch
eel.
this accent. I'll be like, hey, oh, the what? Like, I'll just start talking like that.
Just say eel. That's all you gotta say eel.
Ew. How milk feel milk guy? Ew.
Eel. Just say eel. Eel. Just say eel. just just say that and pretend like you understand what they're saying and you keep it moving. No, I
Yeah.
get that. I get that. So yeah, the one that I could say is one thing I always ask people at the end of the podcast. I always ask for you to share some final words, to everybody out there. I know I'm sure there's a lot of people that was watching this, and then a lot of things you shared. I mean, you talked about a lot of great stuff, a lot of deep stuff as well. You shared a lot of deep stuff as well. So thank you for sharing. But just share some final words for everybody out there's watching. Some moments, a little motivational speech or something. Just share them, share them some words of advice to part ways. If I ask you, yeah, you can go ahead and just share something.
Well, thank you for watching and listening to my story.
Yeah,
Uh, I just want to say, I ain't shit. My parents came from the Efus of the Tongan island of
yeah,
Tonga, and we came here, and they were trying to seek a better life. And as a first generation, and I'm speaking to all my first generation folks, it is our duty for us to do better and to pursue that better life that our parents came here for.
mhm,
And it is harder for us because in America, you know, we have Black people, we have Asians, we have Migos, we have all of these colors, and we're just at the end of the list. And I think it's really up to us to do better, to be better, and to break all of these barriers. And that's really all I had to say. Like I said, I'm nothing. I'm just a Tongan girl from Shoreview on the east side of San Mateo.
Yep.
And I'm just trying to make things happen. But I'm not trying to make it happen for just me. I'm trying to make it happen for us, for Cali, for Tonga, just to make it happen. Yeah, just get out your own way. Stop stopping yourself. Stop stopping yourself. Can't stop, won't stop.
All right, that's it. Respect.
It's Phettie G. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna stop recording
Thank
right
you
now.
so much, Will.
No, thank you. Appreciate appreciate everything you talked about. It was a fun and exciting story. It was deep as well. It was deep as well. But yeah, thank you for being courageous out there, not only for yourself but for everybody, all the Tongans that watching this, and everybody that's listening to this that can find inspiration within your story.
Hey, I'm like, oh my gosh. I felt like I spaced out a lot, and I was like, oh, I don't have any answers for you.
And don't be surprised if you get a lot of DMs from a lot of guys that are gonna watch this.
Oh, what? Nah, you gonna get the DMs. Daniel White.
That's how I hide. That's how I hide myself.
Wait, so what's up with the name? Who's Daniel
Oh
White?
no, I'm using my friend's Zoom.
Oh, I'm
Zoom
like, so
account.
where did Will come from?
Yeah, let me. I'll just stop the recording right now. Let me hold up. Wait.